Hi everyone, happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Tuesday edition from Michelle's Creative Corner. My name is Michelle Salcho and I am here today a little off schedule because I'm participating in the Tech for Stampers Academy blog hop, and that is quite a mouthful. So if I have done this correctly, you might be seeing me on Facebook, or you might be on YouTube, or you might actually be on my blog. I didn't see the lights dim when I hit the go live, so I think that at least I haven't overtaxed our home network, which is a good thing. And I have to admit, I am a lot nervous about being in so many places at one time and the potential for a number of you finding me, which is exciting and terrifying all at the same time. The blog hop today, the theme is cards for kids, and I kind of like to create cards for kids. As you know, I have a few super special kids in my life, and it's fun to create for them, and it's fun to create with them. So I hope that I remember to share all the tips I have for you today that help make creating for them and with them a little more fun and I don't even know what my other word is, but anyway, there are things that can make that a little easier and a little more enticing to kids, I guess is what I'm thinking too. So I am going to go ahead and switch cameras. Now you might notice I've got my Halloween shirt on today. Can you see? So Simon is the gray kitty and Ginger is the orange kitty. Those are kittens that we have that are not quite a year and a half old, and they get into lots of mischief. But since I'm working on a Halloween project, I thought I'd get a little festive and wear some Halloween gear as well. All right, so switching the camera. I moved things around on my desktop, so if you see me looking a little frantic around, that's why. So here is today's project. Isn't this adorable? And it looks super cute just like that. But there is more to it than meets the eye initially. So this part lifts up and opens. And then this part opens up as well. Right? So this is my draft project, and I learned a few things working on it that I am going to improve upon today, or that's the goal anyway. I shared this with a few team members last night, and they remarked, hey, that looks kind of similar to the card that you did in our shoebox swap. And it is. So I'm going to pull this card out and show you that it is very similar. The template is essentially the same. Now this card I cased from my good friend Cindy Westerink. Cindy created this card and I loved absolutely everything about it and had to do it just the way she did it. But here is the little friendly hippo, and somehow or another I got it stuck together. I think the bubbles stuck. But this opens and this opens. So I'll tell you a few things about this card because they're kind of time sensitive. These little hippos are a celebration selection. So you can select the stamp set with a $50 order. There are corresponding dies that can be selected with the $50 order. So if you have a $100 order, you could select both of them, or if you had a $50 order this time and a $50 order in a few weeks, you could order the second ones. However, celebration items are while supplies last, so you know, be aware of that they may not be, if you wait, you might miss out. But the hippos are too cute. The greetings that I used on this stamp set are from Amazing Phrasing. That is also a celebration stamp set. And I'm just going to grab the celebration brochure and show you those. Celebration goes on till the end of August. And they've introduced a few other items as some of these items have sold out. But here is the hippest hippos. This stamp set is super cute, and I'm just going to show it to you here because I'm too lazy to walk across the room and actually grab the actual stamp set. But that is the stamp set, and then the dies have lots of cute accessories to go along with them. I mean, goggles and a snorkel, snow glasses, sunglasses, a party hat, a little lifesaver, some hearts, some flowers, an umbrella, the little splash, even grass, and kind of a water ripple effect. A little propeller for this boat, and then you have this wash tub here. So they are adorable. The amazing phrasing. Amazing phrasing. So this is this fun stamp set here. Lots of fun greetings, and you can see some of the samples that appear here as well. So that is with a $100 purchase. So, okay. Not seeing any of y'all jump on just yet. I just want to make sure that I am, in fact. Okay, should be. Okay, why am I not? I'm sorry, guys. I just want to, it's a little odd that nobody is here. So I'm just going to, oh, there we are. Okay. Oh, I guess it's noon, so that is a little different time. But, okay, so this is the Hippos, same template that we are using for today's card. Now, for today's card, we are using the Scary Cute stamp set, the actual bundle. These are the fun coordinating dies, lots of bats, and I used them. This little cute cat, I really wanted to use this little scaredy cat, but it just didn't work out today. This little fun haunted house, yes, used that as well, and this amazing label. And guys, don't discount this because it's a two-piece, meaning you can cut out the detail or you can cut out just the solid. So this is great for greetings in addition. So outside of just this stamp set, these two labels have got some additional uses. Stamp set, okay. This is in the mini catalog, which is live through the end of December. Let's see, page 50. Okay, so here is this stamp set, and I'm just going to scoot out a bit. Okay, so the bundle is here on page 56 with some really fun samples. I love this one. And then here is another Halloween set. Over here, we're going to use this washi tape. Hi, Lori. Great to see you. In fact, we're going to case this very design using the Designer Series paper and the glitter washi tape. The Designer Series paper is over here on page 55, and it is called Black and White Designs, and it is, black, white, and smoky slate are the colors in that paper. And I don't have it over here. I've cut my pieces for the most part and didn't bring it. I absolutely adore Halloween, and if you do as well, and if you'd like to get some friends together to make Halloween cards or Halloween treats, please reach out and let's put a date on the calendar because these would be so much fun. I know candy corn is kind of a love it or hate it kind of thing. So candy corn is optional, not necessarily. We can fill those little treat bags with anything that you want. Okay, so that's where we are and what we're making. So let's get started and see if I can remember all the things that I want to share and avoid this time. Now, we are live on my blog post at the same time that we're live in the video here on Facebook and YouTube. So that means the blog post already has these measurements and such there. So we're going to start with a parakeet party base, and it is just a single 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We have this layer that is, oh, I don't know, it's a little smaller. I'm going to say 4 by 9 1/4 and scored at 4, best guess. We're going to cut the Designer Series paper at 3 7/8 square. So let's go ahead and do, I don't know, let's go ahead and do that. I think I should have one side already there. Now, if the 8ths or the 16ths trip you up, don't worry, guys, just go down to 3 3/4 and it'll be just absolutely fine. I'm not exactly sure why I was so interested in the 7/8, but that's what I did. Should we do it a little differently, just for giggles? Maybe we should. Let's just do 3 3/4 so that you can see the difference. I don't think that will throw off what I'm doing. And if it does, well, that just gives me an excuse for why things went terribly wrong, right? It's not going to, but if it did. Okay, so let's add the washi tape because we can do that at this point. And I'm just being careful with my pieces. I have bats everywhere, but I have some cool, helpful hints with working with these bats and detailed dies that I want to be sure to remember. Okay, washi tape, I should have 4 colors, and there you are. Okay, so awesome traditional Halloween. When I was working on this card, I asked for some assistance from Hardin, and he said, well, if you're going for the traditional, Halloween colors, then go for the traditional Halloween colors. Now, I am not going to be overly fussy with how straight this is. Just going to do a black. I'm going to do a color, then I'm going to add a black stripe and another color and add another black stripe. You get the idea of the pattern. So green we've used. Let's do this orange. So washi tape is fun to work with. It can add some quick little pop of color and bling. And truly, I don't think it's necessary to be, terribly fussy with how straight or not this is. Kind of sad though, the purple is my favorite and it kind of gets stuck down here by itself. But, it happens. Okay, so that's the washi tape. I showed you that on page, I don't know, in the 50s, 56 or so in the catalog. I'm just going to turn this over, and I could use this with a trimmer or I can do it with scissors. I'm just going to do it with my paper snips because they are right here handy. So just collect that and pitch it. Jeannie, I love candy corn too. I am not a huge peanut fan, but man, candy corn and peanuts, that's kind of the bomb. That little sweet and salty mix. And I do some training with a person called Brenda Stir. She loves candy corn as well. I think it is our dear friend Hope that is not a fan of candy corn. And speaking of Hope, her adorable, precious grandson Wyatt is coming home today. He is, his open heart surgery was July 22nd, and he has done fantastic and is coming home. So I know that Hope and Big Brother Owen will be very glad to see him, and they will be very glad to see him. Okay, so I'm trying to decide if I can put this on now. I think I'm going to wait just a second, and I want to show you. So I've already die cut these pieces, but I'm going to show you what I did so that you can remember this as well. I have already placed an adhesive sheet on the backs of the pieces that I want to be flat to the card. and that's mainly these detailed dies. And true confession, I forget a lot of times the first time I'm working with a detailed die on a project that I want to use the adhesive sheets, that they are so awesome for things like this. And I didn't think about it when I was making my sample, which, you know, that's okay, but it just means that there's some areas that are sticking up. This is a card for kids, and I envision it being open and shut a bunch of times, and these would have an opportunity to kind of lift, bend, or tear. And if I'm using the adhesive sheets, then they are going to stick down because all of this has adhesive all over it. So I have 2 of those detailed pieces because I need one for that outer flap, very technical terms here, as well as the inner one. I've got adhesive on the back of my haunted house as well. I didn't put it on the back of my little moon. Oh, and actually I don't have it on the back of my house. I thought I did. That's okay. It's all okay whether you use it or not. These are just suggestions. All right, so that's that. Then, okay, I'm going to show you these pieces, and then I'm going to show you how I did it and why. So this pumpkin pie piece is to go here on the outside, and it's a little fat. It's heavy, it's sturdy. Now, the flap is not, and I've toyed with whether or not that should be reinforced as well. And ultimately I haven't come up with a great way to do it. But anyway, I put a piece of pumpkin pie on one side and black on the other side to create this piece here. Now, foam adhesive sheets, they come in a package like this. They come with 6 sheets in there, and I think they are 4 by 4 1/4, 4 by 4 1/4, 4 1/4 by 4 1/2, something along that lines. And so you can see this is a piece with black on it. And where are my scraps? Oh, I knew I wasn't quite as organized as I thought. Those are those pieces that I need. Okay, well, I'm just going to grab a piece of black and a piece of anything. Oh my. Okay, just reached into my scrap pile and grabbed a couple of things. Okay, so I've got a piece of Parakeet Party and a piece of black. And this is not necessarily real life, but I wanted to show you how I did this. This is basically double-sided tape. It's just a dimensional, right? That's a solid sheet. You're used to working with dimensionals. You peel them off, you stick them on. Then when you get ready to stick it to the card, you peel off the other side. It's the same principle here. Now I did not measure this at all, but I want my cardstock to overlap a little, and I didn't peel the whole thing off initially. Now I can. And I didn't want the whole adhesive back to show, so I peeled a little bit more and added my second color. Okay, now I've got adhesive here and I've got adhesive here, so I would typically just tear it's very technical here, and then I would take my die and run it through the machine just like that. Okay, and it may take a couple of times. If you're cutting this with your trimmer, it may take a couple of times, and even back and forth back and forth and even flipped over to get it to cut all the way through, because that's pretty thick, but it is so worth it. And it's the same thing with the adhesive sheets. They come in a package of 12, and they are 6 by 12. And you take a piece of cardstock or designer series paper, whatever you're turning into a sticker, and you peel off a section and put it down. They even have these little pieces, these little strips. When you peel off the side that has the 3 divisions, the sticky is on the single sheet. Okay, so they may take a little bit of getting used to, but so much fun. And I was thinking yesterday, it would be so fun to make stickers and fat stickers for Hazel to play with. And I was thinking you could even like use a window sheet and create something so that she can peel these stickers and move them around. So I may have to play with that a little bit more. But okay, so this is where I cut out all my bats, you can see. And what you'll notice is, so it's thick, but you can see I've got all this white edge that's showing. Okay, well, you don't necessarily want that white edge. And on my card, I think you can see there are no white edges. Take an alcohol marker. The blends work best. I think I've gotten all the black off of me now, but I did this yesterday or the day before, I don't remember now which, with a Stampin' Write marker, which you can totally do, but that Stampin' Write marker is going to take longer to dry. Your alcohol markers are going to dry almost immediately. So you can get rid of the white this easy. And then I'm going to have this thick little bat. And when you take a look at my card up close, you'll see I was pretty nutty for the bats. Oh my gosh, I just looked up and I realized I have folks on here on Facebook and YouTube. That's so exciting. I don't know if I'm going to date myself and admit that Steve Martin's movie, The Jerk, is one of I love that movie. And of course, my favorite part is when the phone books come and he dances around because his name is in the phone book and he feels like he's a real somebody. That's kind of how I feel like going live in multiple places. So there's that bat. It's gone from something like that to solid black. And I probably should have done a few of these ahead of time, but I didn't. So we may have to speed up the process, but it just takes a few seconds. And honestly, I can add the bats afterwards because my sample card is all done, and this is the process that I wanted you to see, and now you've seen it. And it sure felt good to be working ahead. I already have Thursday's project done and ready to put into a blog post as well. So exciting. Okay, let's see if we can do these in order. Okay, this little girl needs to come down, and I'm going to mark kind of where I want her feet to go, because this little label is going to label right on top of the green. And I'm just going to grab my pencil and line those up. Now there are a couple of things working with adhesive sheets that we're going to deal with today that I didn't really have before. And that's that I was able to slip my little moon. I slipped that in after the fact. My house is on the outside of this. It's not tucked in. I could have trimmed the corners and gotten it in or tried to tuck it underneath, but I ended up just going on top. You guys, when it's your card, you do it your way. I don't know that it's going to matter a whole lot. But not a whole lot to me might be a whole lot to you. So I've got a Stamparatus right here. And the reason I'm using the Stamparatus on this card primarily is because these are solid images and they don't always stamp really strong and solid the first time. And I'm going to just, sorry, I'm kind of shuffling these around. You don't need this many acrylic plates for your when you're working with the Stamparatus. I do it because this is the way I do it in class. That way I can have multiple Stamparatuses and going. So I guess it's just a habit. Okay, so I'm just going to take that one down. And, whoops. Okay, I'm just going to set her kind of right. Actually, I'm going to put her up here. I'm going to get this logo out of my way. So I set her down. Then I pick her up. And I am going to ink her up. Oh, my ink is here. And I'm just using Memento ink. Making sure that's all in the corners because I do want it to be in the right place. And now I've stamped her down. And I'm going to clean her. And this chamois is still so wet. But I don't seem to have a paper towel over here. Okay. But I want her feet to be about there. And, you know, guys, it doesn't have to be exact. I just don't want her feet to be too far underneath. Okay, hold on. I did this just yesterday. Oh, duh. Okay, let's see how that is gonna. Okay, I've gone brain dead. It happens. Does that happen to y'all? I'm gonna slide this in, ink up her feet. That's the part that I'm kind of worried about. Oh. See, I knew there would be some part of this process that... Okay, I think that's about perfect. So, I'll slide that out. Slide that down. That's good. And I've lined up the edge of my label with the line of my grid paper. Ink her up really well. Bring her over. And really, there's some things that really have to be done in the right order. So you can see she's not really solid. So I'm going to stamp her again. This is the reason I'm using the Stamparatus, because I wanted to be able to stamp until I had her just really solid. This is meant to be a silhouette, and a silhouette would be a solid image. And I think that is pretty dang strong. All right, so we're going to leave her alone. I'll clean her off. And that's all we need of her. So we can get rid of her. Set her over here. And we can put these two, whoops, see, I got ink on me. Always happens. Just going to refer to my sample here. and we can put her down. Remember, we've got adhesive sheets on the back of this. I'm going to find an edge and peel it. So I know some people are not ready to make Halloween cards, but you know, I'm already making Christmas cards, so Halloween doesn't seem like that much of a stretch. And now those are one. Now, these are exactly the same size, so from some angles you can kind of see the green. Guys, if that is something that's going to bother you, then by all means take your black blend and just come along the edge wherever it's showing. Okay, so that is that part. We need to do this stamping and this stamping. So this little guy, I've already scored. It's about 1.5 inches by something. And we are going to get the Stamparatus back out and stamp Say Boo and Scary on, as well as our little trick-or-treater. Okay. And I don't have that out. Thought I did. Okay, we'll put her away. Here's our little trick-or-treater and Say Boo and Scary on. All right. So Stamparatus back out. I think the Stamparatus is an amazing tool for beginner stampers and seasoned stampers. It is well worth the investment. I know some people that choose this in their starter kit. No regrets whatsoever. Okay, so if we put this little guy down, I do like to use my grid paper to kind of help me line it up in case things shift. This isn't a photopolymer stamp, so it's generally not going to move around very much. But here's our little guy. Here's our Say Boo. And I'm not going to stamp them together in spite of how that looks. And I'll show you another trick. This acrylic plate has grid lines on it, and you can use those grid lines to see if your stamp, you know, how straight it's looking. And this one looks pretty straight, but okay. I can do this. I'm doing things really out of order for myself because I'm terrified I'm going to put this down in the right order. I'm going to glue something down before it's time. But that looks straight enough. And we can ink up our greetings again too. Isn't that amazing? So let's clean him off. Everything's a him today. And we'll get out our little trick-or-treater. I'm not sure what he's carrying. A little lantern, perhaps. And I'm not too bothered by him. Just thinking about where I might put those bats. These bats are lots of fun. Now I need to remember to show you something about one of these front bats that I didn't think about. But because they have all this extra dimension, they the fold, it interfered with the fold. Okay, so that's that. As soon as we stamp our Highland Heather, then we can put those two pieces together and we can really start building our card. Okay, I've already got them on. Okay. And I have their paper. Oh, but you know what I didn't mark? All right. Oh, yeah, I did. Okay, I remember. I want to line up the edge like so. Yep. And I'm actually going to mask off this left edge because I didn't really like the way that looked. So sometimes you learn something and you making your first go. All right, so here's our little trio. And this, we're going to use the hinge technique on this so that we can stamp these guys twice. Meaning left to right twice, not on top of each other twice. I'm going to do one more time. I think that it's more noticeable on the colored cardstock that the image is not completely solid. Okay, now I'm going to skip down 2 hinges, so remove this and say 1, 2, and then stamp it right there. When I first got my Stamparatus, one of the first cards I made had Happy Birthday in an ombre effect down the right, and it was so cool because I didn't re-ink my stamp. I simply shifted it down a hinge as I moved down the card. It was so cool. It was a stamp set. I think it's called Perennial, something Perennial. And it was a lovely font. I parted with it, but it wasn't easy. Sometimes it's just not. Okay, so that is the little trick-or-treaters. And I've already positioned the greeting as well. It's going to go right there. And I'm trying to think what else I needed to. Okay. All right. So I think that might be the stamping that we need to do. And okay. So that's got that. That's got that. Oh, yep, that's that. Okay. I think I can put aside the Stamparatus. And I got to get a drink. Because I'm talking non-stop. Okay. I think those are done. Now we can start assembly. Okay. So, this is the part that I'm really afraid I'm going to put down wrong. And I want to put this roughly in the center, and a lot of times the way I find the center is I figure out how many blocks it takes up on my grid paper, and I'm used to using the other grid paper that has colors, which helps tremendously. So here's 2, 4, 5 on that side and 2, 4, 5 on that side. So this is pretty much the center. So I can slide that away and add some adhesive here. Not a lot, I don't really want it to ooze out, but put this down and then slide this under like so. Give that a second, and then we'll put this down to the parakeet party. And for no particular reason, I grabbed multi-purpose glue for the first part and seal for the second. And I'm gonna go ahead and just burnish that really well with my bone folder before I put it down. And trying to just give about the same mat there. We can put our DSP down, right? Yes. Do that. Well, okay, I got it stuck to my finger. Sometimes the seal needs a little help getting started, and there's definitely a little bit of a learning curve, and some of us love it and some of us don't. That's okay. All right, so and I cut this, so you see I gave it a little different border, and you see this has got a really narrow border on it, and this one I think I like the larger border. Oh shoot, I knew I would forget something. Dadgummit. Okay. Quickly. I need to cut a piece of ribbon. And glue dots. Dang it. And just to be doubly sure, I'm going to put one on both sides. I need this ribbon. To tuck under. And it might be a little low, and honestly, it's kind of okay. Well, ideally I would have put that down to the green before I adhered it down. I'm going to trim it a little bit and add a glue dot on this end because this all gets covered up. And I have some rogue glue there. Okay, feel better. Now this piece. So here is our orange, and same thing. I can worry about that bow in a few minutes. I am not going to use that side. I don't want the white to show on this, so I'm just going to come along on the foam and add black. I could just as easily have used the pumpkin pie blend and made this look more orange. Oh, well, that's okay. I got a little bit probably on the orange right then, but remember I've got that black label that's going to cover that up. Not always looking for perfection. Sure why that's... Oh, yes, I do know. I had to sneak a second piece of foam in here, and it's not peeled on both sides. I'll see if I can show you what I mean. Yeah, over here, that didn't get peeled. Now it did. And it's got a little extra stick on that side. All right, now I'm going to put that here. All right. Now my moon, I'm going to have to sneak in. So I think I'll put my detail down. I'll peel that off. Put this down to the orange. Okay. And then just not really attach that until I get my moon where I want it. Take your pick tool, comes in handy here because you can use the little putty and the point to kind of move it around. And now put it down. I didn't even put any adhesive on the back of the moon. I just let the adhesive that's on the black part stick it down. Now for my house, it is bigger than my frame, but I didn't mind it so much, and I could have used adhesive sheets on this. Wouldn't have been a bad idea, just didn't do it. There's that. And then I'm going to add a little flat bat, and it has adhesive on it as well. So, oh, and guys, if you haven't gotten the new embossing tray and tools, these tweezers are the bomb. They just kind of hold on to it. Yeah, amazing. Okay, so that is this, and we will add adhesive to the end here. And that was a lot. And I don't want that to squish out. Roughly centered. Oh, and yeah, it does take a second to set. And I could come in. And we'll let that set for a second, and I'll go ahead and cut ribbon for a bow. Someone thought my bow looked really good last night. I was like, well, it's sure to be wonky today then. Pull it tight. Okay, and I'll trim it up after I get everything else in place. Let's make sure that guy's there. Looks like I might have a little rogue adhesive here. I can just pick that up, especially after it's dry. Now, how do I know where this one goes? This is kind of magical. I actually put this here and add some adhesive. And I'm being careful not to get too much that would ease out or ooze out. I'll hold that in place as much as I can and bring the card to it. Hopefully it's right side up. Thank goodness. Let that set. That's that. All we need left are the bats, right? And I told you this bat over here in the corner is so far in the corner that it interferes with the card opening, and it's getting really beat up. So don't hang off the edge on the fold side when you place your bats. But I've used flat bats in the center and then fat bats anywhere else that I could. And there you have it. I don't think you need to watch me do those little bats. You've seen that. You've seen the tips and the tricks there. All of the supplies are posted in the blog, which is now live. If you'd like to place an order, the current host code is, oh my gosh, why can't I do that? Right there. And you can check out michellesalcho.com. That's where you'll find the blog post and a link to this replay if you'd like to watch it again. And just a reminder that these two are basically the same card, just different colors, different papers, different shapes, but the same recipe. And I hope that you enjoyed today and that you'll come back Thursday. Would you like a quick peek? Let's see how time-wise, where are we? All right, we've been going over we've gone almost an hour, but maybe you'd like a quick peek at Thursday's project. I'll be live Thursday at 9 a.m. Central, and I am bringing you this fun step card. So it stands up like that. Features I've already forgotten, but isn't this an awesome, fun card? So this is on tap for Thursday. There are sneak peeks of the 2 card classes that are coming up on the blog. So I hope that you will join me for all of that coming up. Thanks so much for being here and supporting me. I appreciate you very much. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.